Are you tired of missing out on properties because your offer wasn't accepted? My name is David Brooke. I sell over 600 houses a year. Let me teach you how to make a winning offer. Let me start by saying this. A seller wants one thing. They want to make sure that this offer isn't going to fall apart. That's it. I think buyers get so confused. They just think that it's all about price. It's not. There's actually more terms that are involved within an offer that get your offer accepted. So let's just get the whole, I'm gonna write a letter and someone's gonna feel sappy and accept my offer. Although that works sometimes, it's not the entirety. If they bid $1 and wrote a really sappy letter, it wouldn't have gotten accepted. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into some of the big reasons as to why really good offers are actually accepted. So here's what I did. Not only have I seen all of these offers go through, I talk to lenders all the time who only see the winning offers on properties. So combined with my experience and theirs, here's what we see that the most buyers that win offers actually do. Number one, they take purchase price very seriously. Buyers who want to live in properties typically don't want to live in them for 60 days or 90 days. They actually want to live in them for many, many years. And what they do is they take a look at where the market is today and where it's moving. Now, no one has a crystal ball. The market could crash tomorrow, but savvy buyers are going to ask themselves, why would the market crash? If they don't see massive credit fraud happening, if they see a shortage of housing and so many buyers, they can foresee that housing is going to continue to rise for the foreseeable future. Therefore, they buy not looking in the rearview mirror as to where the purchase price was for other properties. They look out the windshield to where it will be, not only now, but in about 3 months, 6 months, if not a year. What would it be like if I was continuing to look for properties, spending my weekends looking at properties? Where will the market be in 3 months? Are houses now going to go up 1, 2, 3, 5% more? What does that mean for my purchase price? Because price is such an important thing, buyers are often asking themselves, okay, I know that my comfort level would be to pay as little as possible for the property, but I actually want to secure a home in this given market. And I'm also realizing that other buyers in the market want to live in this neighborhood as well, which is a good thing. Do you want to buy a property that no one else wants? Absolutely not. You want to buy a property that everyone else wants. And so taking the purchase price seriously is highly important. Speak to your real estate agent and take the emotion out of the scenario and ask, what would it take in order to win this property purchase price wise? If you don't know, ask the seller's agent to ask their seller, in what scenario would this be a winning offer for your client in which they would take their property off the market today? Number two, take your deposits very seriously. Many times, buyers want to put as little money down as possible in order to save as much money in their pockets because they're scared that something could happen. Well, if you're going to buy a property, it is going to be scary for the most part. You're spending a lot of money. Being serious about helping the seller to understand that this deal is not falling apart is of utmost importance. Buyers who put down a significant deposit show the seller we're serious, we're not going to walk away. In many cases, I've advised buyers to make a portion of their deposit or all of their deposit non-refundable, meaning that they would lose their deposit if they walked away. What does that tell a seller? That tells a seller we are serious, we are not going anywhere. Now, why do we care all about this? Because a seller eventually becomes a buyer. They need to move somewhere. And unless they're moving on to the great beyond, they are going to move to another property, in which case they've now become a buyer in the market. And that seller is going to ask them, do you still have a property to sell? And if they say, well, we've got home inspections and my buyer didn't put down a big deposit and, that's going to not give confidence to that next seller. They want to say, my property's under contract with no contingencies and we're closing very shortly. That makes a seller who now becomes the buyer a very confident buyer, which gives them confidence to accept your offer. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. Let's talk contingencies. Everyone wants to make sure that they don't make a mistake. I get it. I don't want to make mistakes whether I'm investing in stocks, real estates, or anything else in life. So how do we make sure? Well, most times a home inspection is the best way that we can get a full, complete understanding from the roof to the foundation and everything in between as to what's happening in the property. Many times, however, sellers are worried that's the part where this could fall apart. And I don't want that. And you don't want that if you want a winning offer. Now, some sellers in some regards may say, yes, we will accept a home inspection, but the purpose of this video is to teach you in a very, very competitive market how to place a winning bid. Well, many times sellers are accepting offers that do not have many, if any, contingencies, which means that they're removing their contingencies for inspections and they're moving their contingencies for appraisal. Now, let me get into that. No buyer wants to buy a property not understanding what the true market value is by an unbiased professional, or looking at a property not really certain, what am I buying here? I want a home inspector to go through and look at this place. I understand your opinion. This is why many times buyers ask us, what should we do? Number one, nothing says that we actually have to follow that specific process of having the inspection after we buy the house. Nothing saying that we have to follow that process of getting the property appraised after the fact. Well, David, no, I can't get an appraiser or a home inspector in there. Maybe you can. What if you actually looked at the process of an appraisal with your broker and with an appraiser even before you bid? Yes. Will that cost you money out of pocket? Sure. Will that cost you a few $100s? Yes. However, it may cost you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to continue to wait in an increasing market, competing against yourself and others as more time goes on. Let me give you an example. If a buyer calls me today and says, David, I really want to be in a specific school system come August, and I need to be in there in the next 3 months so I can renovate a property, I can fix it up, do whatever we need for the start of the next school year, I'm going to give them this very straight talk about exactly what I'm telling you today. And we're going to talk about contingencies. In that, we would give them the option, if they loved the home, we'd actually take a second walk through the home, many times through the open house, etc., with one of our trusted contractors or home inspectors. Are they going to have the time to set up a radon test? No, but the cost to fix the radon is probably around $1,500. Are they going to have time to poke every single hole and look for a termite? No, but they understand that termite treatment might cost around $2,000 and they're willing to accept that. Many buyers are willing to pay $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 over the list price of a property, but they don't think with common sense to say, okay, but I'll take on a $2,000 or $3,000 expense after the fact if I need to. So what I'm saying is that many times home inspectors, appraisers, etc., are willing to walk through a property beforehand, and for a rush fee will get you a valuation of the property and a determination as to the current components of the home without maybe doing a complete inspection of the home, but will give you a very accurate understanding so that you can make an educated bid. The point of all this is the less contingencies your offer has, the more confident a seller is going to be in order to take your offer. Tip number 4, closing times are imperative. Many times buyers want to get in at a specific point so that they can do renovations on a property, etc. Maybe you've got a lease that you're waiting to expire so that you can then get into your property so you don't have to make double payments. I'm telling you, focus on what the seller needs at this time, because the seller's looking to say, can I buy the next property and is this going to fit into that timeline? We've seen many buyers suggest, let's let the seller stay at a property even after a closing. This means that we close on the property within 30 days, 21 days, 7 days, and we allow the seller to stay for a specific period of time, and that time period is drawn up by the attorneys with a specific agreement. Sometimes the seller pays some rent back, sometimes they don't. What would you rather have? To pay $20,000 over a list price and allow a seller to stay for another month? Or would you rather pay $40,000 over a list price and still get your offer rejected? In this case, the seller doesn't care about the extra $20,000. They care about the ability to be able to sell the property and have all of those proceeds available for themselves to use on the next house. I hope you're getting it right now. That seller becomes a buyer and they need to feel confident that their deal's not going to fall apart. If you can understand this, you can understand how to create a winning offer. So to wrap up tip number 4, closing times are very important. Have your real estate agent talk to the other broker and say, we are very flexible with our closing date and time. In what scenario would this make a winning decision for your client where they'd be willing to accept our offer right now and take the property off the market? Tip number 5, and this is probably the most important. I don't know how many times I hear this where they say, you know what, we want to do business with your office. We know that you do what you say. You're going to follow up on your timelines. We're not going to have any nonsense with the lending. We know that you're not going to be silly with us on the home inspections. Agent-to-agent communication is imperative. There are 1.5 million realtors out there in the country, and at the time of this video, there are over 500,000 listings total. That's it. So here's the thing. Not all the agents are going to eat, and not all the agents are going to make it through. And why is that important? because some agents are just not cut out for this business. They're part-time, they do it as a hobby, they don't really know how to get into the business. If you want to work with a part-time agent because you're related to them, fine. Go to them for your brakes too on your car, but you might end up in a bad scenario. My strong suggestion to you, and I know it's bold, is this: work with a full-time real estate agent who does this nonstop, who's willing to do whatever it takes in order to communicate with the other side, get the understanding, be super communicative in text, email, phone, whatever that is, so that you understand exactly what's going on throughout the process. If you're not getting that, talk to your real estate agent. Say, hey, listen, I'm not sure if this is a good fit or not, and just tell them what you need from the process. I need lots of communication. We need to reset so that I can create a winning offer and actually secure a home for my family. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you found this content valuable, would you please click that little bell and subscribe to our channel? We're constantly looking to deliver great content to people who are looking to buy, sell, and invest in real estate. If you want to work with one of our many awesome realtors who are across the country, go ahead and click one of the links below in the description. We'd love to get you connected with some of the best real estate agents in the business. And if you're a realtor who wants to work with us, simply reach out as well.